Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you wherever you are in the world. Welcome to my channel. My name is Meg and I am a fully qualified yoga teacher, beautician and a masseuse. And this is my YouTube channel where I talk a lot about yoga and tips and tricks and things that you guys can follow along from home, but also some health and wellness as well. So if that is something that you're interested in, go and hit the subscribe button, and it means that every time I post up onto YouTube, you guys will get a notification so you never get to miss a video or a yoga practice with me. Today we are going to be doing a kind of front of the body stretch, and what I mean by this is like looking at the chest, the abs, the hips, and the front of the feet, places like that, because I feel like there's so much emphasis on stretching the back of the body, so like hamstrings, glutes and back, which, don't get me wrong, extremely important. But I do think there should be some sort of, there should be a bit of an emphasis on stretching through the front of the body as well, especially if you're maybe someone who drives a lot, so you might be shortening the muscles in your hip flexors. Maybe you work out a lot and you do a lot of core exercises, so that crunching of the abs constantly can cause it to kind of tighten up a little bit, so we're looking at stretching that out. And maybe you round over slightly, so again you're kind of opening through the shoulder blades because you're rounded over. So we're thinking pulling everything back and opening through the chest. So that's what we're going to be doing this video today. You don't really need anything to practice. I always recommend using a good quality grippy mat onto a hard surface. And this is so that you have a good quality mat that is grippy onto the floor, so it's less likely to slip out from underneath you and hurt you. But also when you use a good quality mat, it's got better padding, so it's better on your joints. You can use blocks, you can use straps as well if you want to. And when you're ready, we will get started. Let's start seated onto the knees. Now you have two options here, depending on how intense you want to take this. So option number one, you can keep the toes pointed and just have your bum onto the feet. Option number two, we're going to tuck the toes underneath. So we're getting a stretch through the feet as well as through the upper body. So making your decision, either tucking those toes under, or you can keep them pointed underneath you. Make sure you're nice and comfortable as you can be. We're going to take the hands behind, interlace the fingers, push the hands down and away from you. And as you do this, we're rounding the shoulders back and down, pushing the chest forwards. So think about squeezing your shoulder blades together, push your chest forward, stick your tailbone back out behind, and then pulling the hands down towards the floor. So you should feel this across the abs, the chest, the front of the shoulders, but probably into your feet as well if you've got the toes tucked under. And just taking the chin in towards the chest, pins and needles. Long, slow, deep breaths. Keep squeezing the shoulder blades together, pulling the shoulders back and down and pushing the hands down into the ground. Pull the chest forwards. Deep breath in and out. Let's take one more in. And exhale, we'll take the hands down in front. Let's wriggle the toes. Point those toes underneath you. Maybe just rock from side to side. Give them a second. And then we're going to lay all the way flat onto our tummies. We're going to stretch out through the abs here. So we're going to take the hands out in front, and your elbows are directly underneath your shoulders, and they are an arm's width apart. So if you need to double check, you'll place the hands next to each other so they'll come out in front, and then see if you can touch your elbows with your hands. If you can't, walk them further or closer together so they're in the right place, and then place the hands out in front again. We're spreading through the fingertips. Hands are coming down into the mat. We're rolling the shoulders back and down and pushing the chest forwards. Let's take the chin in towards the chest. And we're aiming to push the chest forwards. So you're pulling your hands into the ground. And it's almost like you're pulling the ground towards you and pushing the chest away from you. Squeezing those shoulder blades together. And you should feel a good stretch into your abs. So this is option number one, Sphinx pose. If you want a bit more, we're going to walk the hands to the corners of the mat and lifting up through the chest. So we're coming into seal pose here, squeezing those shoulder blades back and behind. Again, you can take the chin in towards the chest, but pushing that chest forwards. If you want to add on here, you can lift the feet as well. So we're squeezing the feet in towards you. We're not trying to get the head to touch the feet. We're just bringing them in. So we're getting more of a stretch across the front of the body. Keep pushing the floor or pulling the floor towards you and pushing the chest away from you. You don't have to lift the feet. If it feels too much, take them down. Deep breath in. Exhale, we'll take those feet back down. Take the elbows down. Let's bring the left ear down towards the mat. Hands come down by your sides and just take a second here. We'll come all the way back up. We're going to stretch out through the front of the hips from here. So we're going to take this into a lunge. So we're stepping the left foot out and in front. Take a second to make sure that your front knee is directly above the ankle and then pushing your back knee back and behind. So you should feel a deep stretch into the front of your right hip here. Your hands are coming down either side of that left foot. Feeling that stretch into the hip. Long, slow, deep breaths. And it's these long hold stretches that really help to open up through the muscles. Deep breaths. Slowing everything down, opening through that front hip. And we'll take one more deep breath. Exhale. Let's bring the knees back or the hips back over the knees. And we'll walk the left foot back in towards you. We're going to swap over and do the same thing on the other side. So we're lifting the right knee or the right foot this time, taking it up to the top of the mat. Again, making sure that your front knee is directly above your ankle, hands either side of the foot, and we're pushing the back knee behind. Breathing here. Feeling that stretch across the front of the left hip this time. You might feel it into the glute as well here, depending on where you have tightness in the body. Long, slow, deep breaths. Roll those shoulders down away from the ears. Melting into it. Deep breath in and out. We'll take one more in, and as you exhale, let's bring the hips back over the knees. Walk that right foot back. Maybe rock those hips from side to side if you need to. And then we're going to come into staff pose to stretch out through the tops of the legs or the fronts of the legs. We're going to point the toes here. So if your toes are flexed, notice how it's kind of shortening, or you're not using the tops of your feet and through the shins. And this is going to focus the stretch into more of the hamstrings and the back. When you point the toes, you're then using and stretching through the shin muscles and also the tops of the feet as well. So we're pointing the toes. Let's take the hands either onto the shins the ankles or round the feet. Feel that stretch across the tops of the feet, the toes, the ankles, the calves. And we're not trying to bring our nose to our knees or our head to our knees. It's more about pushing forwards and then down with the chest and then relaxing the head. So you're just relaxing wherever it ends up. Deep breath in. Exhale to come all the way up. Let's come into one last stretch, just so we can stretch out through the quads and a little bit more into the hips. This is a bit more of a bonus stretch. We're going to sit down onto our feet and then just let the feet come out to the sides. This might be enough for you, it might be too much. If it is, don't do any more. We're then going to walk the hands back and behind, coming down, maybe all the way onto your back, stretching through the quads. If it feels too much having the feet down by your sides, you can always tuck them underneath the bum. You might feel more of a stretch here. So sometimes I feel more of a stretch with the toes or my feet out to the sides. Sometimes I feel more of a stretch with them underneath. Wherever you are, try and push the knees in towards each other, squeezing them here. You can always take the arms up and over as well. So we're getting a stretch through the tummy too. This is such a good stretch for across the front of the body. Long, slow, deep breaths. Keep squeezing the knees in towards each other. Relaxing the shoulders down. Deep breath in. Exhale, we'll slowly come all the way back up. Maybe fold over the opposite way if you feel like you need to open up through the back. So your knees are together, toes are underneath your hips, and then just walk the hands out in front. And slowly, when you're ready, coming all the way back up. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found some value. I hope it helped to stretch all the way through the front of the body. This is a video that you can use pretty much every single day if you wanted to. You could do it in the morning, you could do it just before bed. Maybe if you're someone that suffers with a little bit of hip pain or quad pain or ab tightness, this can all help to kind of stretch it out nice and gently. Please like and please subscribe if you haven't already. It means so much to me when you guys support me and support this channel. The more support I have on this channel, the more I can bring you guys yoga content. I also do now have a donation button down at the bottom. So if you'd like to contribute or send a super thanks, you'll press that button and then you can donate to me and donate to this channel. And it just means that I can bring more to you guys. Like for example, I've now got a light so you can actually see me, because I've had so many comments saying that because of the lighting in England when it gets into winter, people can't see me. So this light means that you can properly see me, and we can actually, I can actually record at any time of the day rather than it being first sort of like midway through the day. So thank you so much if you have already supported me by sending a super thanks, or if you've been liking, commenting, subscribing. It all makes such a difference. It really, really does. So thank you so much, and I look forward to practicing with you all again soon. Thanks. Bye.